Hello traders, welcome to our recap video after our April 10th webinar of what it means to follow the money. So we had some trade callouts for ET, Mara, and IBIT. And just as a recap, in this webinar, we learned about the dark pools and we learned how to swing trade and to day trade around them following institutional money. When we left the webinar, we had 3 stocks that we could take with conditional trades, bullish above specific levels, bearish below specific levels for retracement trades. So let's go ahead and get into it. The first one up was ET. Let's go ahead and watch the video from the webinar for the ET trade setup. Let's show something here. Look at all of these prints down here. This is the interesting part. I'm going to show you down here, massive prints, more right here, breaking up and then pulling back. This one tested the print, came back, held the 50 simple moving average and breaking up. But look at the size of these shares. 58 million shares within 28 cents of each other, totaling $1.1 billion. Unbelievable. All sitting right here. So what are we doing? We're going to be bullish above 1940. And bearish below 1875. Now, why do we say this? It's like, okay, I personally, looking at the chart, and it looks bullish to me, but I can't go on a bias. I have to have a plan. So, and this has actually saved me a lot of money. At what point would you go long? And at what point would you go short? You know, those AMC guys and GameStop and Diamond Hands and everything. It's like, well, at what point do you cut your losses? Know this in advance. I am bullish above 1940 and bearish below 1875. And I'll have a target. So let's see. Bullish above 1940, target 20, 21, 2150, 2250, 24, and 25. The ATR on this thing is only about 30 cents. So you've got to give it a lot of time. We're going to be bearish below 1875 because those, if we break below 1875, we're below $1 billion in this area. If we close above 1940, we're above the $1 billion, and we're above this wick where there was lots of sellers here. But look at this volume. How did we make out on ET? Well, let's have a look. We were bullish above 1940 with a target 20, 21, 2150 up to 25, bearish below 1875. Well, here was the day of the webinar, April 10th, and see what the price action did. It pulled back below the prints. And then here we have April 28th was our entry point. So we're looking at towards the end of the day, 1953, great entry point. Below massive prints, you see that about 30 million in prints were below. And then we had a target here of 20. We were just shy of the 21 on there, but anyway, taking some profit along the way leaves you 47 cents profit. Okay, next up is Mara. 8.4 million shares within 40 cents, $71 million. We can see this here, all of these 872 to 915, all crunched in here. So we've pulled back, increasing volume. That's a higher volume, not higher than that one. This one here has big volume, testing the 100. So what we have to do is we got to get above 10, the even dollar level, and it's a $10 level. I want it to close above 10 and above this mess. And then we're going to have a target of 11, 12, 13, 1387. I put 1387 as it's the VWAP on the daily that I have. And bearish below 850, right? So we're above the prints to go long, bearish to go short. Because you can't really tell their intent. But of the trades that I showed you for the setup, those trades are my 5-star trades. And if they're not the 5-star trades, I don't want to trade them because I value my money. That's my trading plan. So I'll skip a lot of garbage. All right, how did Mara do? We were bullish above 10, target 11, 12, 13, 1387, and bearish below 850. So let's see. Here's the day of the webinar. Right here, we were above prints. You can see that consolidation, all those ones from March 26th and April 7th, we were poking our heads above that. And then the following Monday, entry $10.36, just above the $10 level. And where were we able to take profit? All the way up at 13, so $2.64 profit on that one. And so it went to a high of 13.80, almost to the last target. All right, let's go ahead and watch the setup video for IBIT. The third one I want to share with you is IBIT, the iShares Bitcoin Trust. 38.2 million shares within $2.72, $1.3 billion. There was 11.8 million 2 days ago, 40.50, 1.9 million, 40.42. Look at this. This is 9 cents. So that's 11, 12, 15, 16 million right here. Right here. This candle here, see all of this volume? 16 million of it was 3 trades. So what's our plan? I want to be bullish above 41.25. And I'm going to be bearish below 37.50 because that gets us safely above this 11.8 million and safely above this 37.68, 3.5 million. Otherwise, you could just draw a box here. A lot of people that trade just technically here, it's like, oh, it's at that, I'll short it. It's like, okay, but just be wary that there's all of this support down here if they're buying. So just, that's totally up to you. Bullish above 41.25, target 42.50, 43.25, and 45. Bearish below 37.50, target 36.25, all the way down to 33. This one has an ATR of $1.39. So what I would do, that'd be what, 270, about 3.25. So if I got in here, say at 41.25, my target might be, my target would be about 44. But you could take some profit along the way in that. All right, so IBIT, we were bullish above 41.25, target 42.50, 43.25, and 45, and bearish below 37.50. Here is the actual webinar day, Friday, April 10th. Here is our entry, 41.59, increasing volume, no wick on top, and this one actually happens to be above the 4 and the 8 exponential moving average. And where were we able to take some profit? There's 45 right there. So that actually gave us $3.41 in profit from that, and it broke 46 actually. You can see there's some new prints in May, 46.25. So this one's been a little bit slow, but it hit all of our targets on the upside, able to taking some profit. So let's see how all of this worked out on paper. So let's go ahead and recap. Had you had traded this with 500 shares and see what we would have done for profitability. All right, so ET entry 1953 to $20 is 47 cents a share. At 500 shares is $235. Mara entry 1036 to 13 is $2.64 a share, is $1,320. And IBIT entry 4159 to 45 is $3.41 a share, which is $1,705, which leaves us a net of $3,440 for the profit. And time to find these trade setups is 5 minutes. So a weekly dark pool newsletter that gets into your inbox Sunday mornings. So you're ready for the week. MobyTickTrading.com/weekly-report, first name, email address, and you're all set. We look at dark pools, massive institutional trades, educational section, market overview, and we only follow the prints. We even have a scorecard to see how we're doing week over week. So maybe you'll find some value in that. Link in the description below as well as on your screen. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you at the next webinar. Take care.